Do we need nuclear energy to stop climate change? As climate change continues to escalate, the world faces an urgent challenge to reduce greenhouse gas emissions quickly and effectively. Achieving the goals of the Paris Agreement and limiting global warming requires a major transformation in how we produce and consume energy. While renewable sources like wind, solar, and hydroelectricity are often seen as the primary solutions, nuclear energy remains a highly debated option. Proponents argue that nuclear power is essential for a sustainable energy future, while opponents cite safety, waste, and cost concerns. Here, we explore whether nuclear energy is truly necessary to combat climate change. The case for nuclear energy in the climate fight 1: low carbon emissions. One of the primary arguments for nuclear power is that it produces virtually no carbon emissions during operation. Unlike fossil fuels, which release large amounts of carbon dioxide, CO2, and other greenhouse gases, nuclear reactors emit no CO2 while generating electricity. According to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, nuclear energy has a lower carbon footprint over its life cycle than coal, oil, and even natural gas. This makes nuclear power a highly effective way to reduce emissions and slow down climate change. Number 2, high energy density nuclear energy has an incredibly high energy density, meaning a small amount of nuclear fuel can produce a large amount of electricity. This allows nuclear plants to produce a continuous and stable power supply. For instance, one uranium pellet produces as much energy as 1 ton of coal, 120 gallons of oil, or 17,000 cubic feet of natural gas. This density is advantageous for nations that lack extensive land space for renewables or have high energy demands, making nuclear an efficient option to support energy grids reliably. 3. Reliability and consistency. Unlike solar and wind power, which depend on weather conditions, nuclear energy can provide a steady, consistent energy supply. Nuclear power plants operate at a capacity factor of over 90%, meaning they produce electricity over 90% of the time, far more than renewables like wind and solar. This reliability is essential for maintaining grid stability and meeting continuous energy demands, particularly during peak usage or when renewable sources are less productive. 4. Minimal land use. Nuclear plants require less land compared to wind or solar farms to produce the same amount of energy. This makes nuclear a viable solution for densely populated areas or regions with limited space. In comparison, solar farms need large areas of land to match the output of a single nuclear reactor, which can be especially challenging in urban or heavily populated regions. The concerns and challenges of nuclear power. 1. Nuclear waste and disposal. A significant drawback to nuclear energy is the production of radioactive waste, which can remain hazardous for thousands of years. Managing and storing nuclear waste is a costly and complex process, as the waste needs to be kept in secure facilities to prevent leaks or contamination. While advancements are being made in waste reduction and disposal technology, long-term storage remains a major issue, and few countries have found permanent solutions for high-level radioactive waste. 2. High costs and long build times. Building nuclear power plants is an expensive and time-consuming process. The costs include extensive safety measures, regulatory approvals, and waste management systems. Nuclear plants also take a long time to construct, often requiring 10 years or more from planning to operation. In contrast, wind and solar installations can be deployed relatively quickly, allowing them to contribute to emission reduction efforts much faster than nuclear facilities. Number 3. Risks of accidents and security threats. Despite significant safety measures, nuclear power carries the risk of severe accidents, as seen in the Chernobyl and Fukushima disasters. Although such events are rare, the potential impact on public health, the environment, and local economies is profound. In addition, nuclear power plants could be targets for terrorism or sabotage, raising concerns about security. These risks make nuclear a controversial option, and many countries remain cautious about expanding their nuclear capacity. Number 4. Limited uranium resources. Nuclear power relies on uranium, a finite resource, and there are concerns about the long-term availability of uranium to support large-scale nuclear expansion. While uranium is currently abundant, if nuclear energy were to be scaled up significantly, demand for uranium could outpace supply, leading to increased costs and potential shortages. Research is ongoing into alternative fuels like thorium, but these are not yet commercially viable on a large scale. Nuclear energy versus renewables, complementary or competing? Many experts argue that rather than being an either or choice, nuclear and renewables could work together to create a low carbon future. Nuclear power's reliability can help stabilize the grid and provide baseload power, while renewables offer clean energy with rapidly decreasing costs. In countries where renewable energy alone cannot meet demand due to limited land or varying weather, nuclear can fill the gaps and provide a balanced energy mix. Hybrid systems that combine renewables with nuclear can ensure stable power availability and reduce emissions more effectively than either source alone. For example, during times of high solar or wind production, nuclear plants can reduce output, saving fuel and reducing operating costs. When renewables are low, nuclear can ramp up to maintain a stable supply. Innovations in nuclear technology, the future of clean energy? 1. Small modular reactors, SMRs. Small modular reactors, SMRs, are a new generation of nuclear reactors that are smaller, safer, and more flexible than traditional nuclear plants. SMRs can be manufactured off-site and transported for installation, significantly reducing construction times and costs. Additionally, they can be deployed in remote or smaller locations where large nuclear plants are not feasible, making them an attractive option for decentralized clean energy. 2. Advanced nuclear reactors. Advanced nuclear reactor designs, such as molten salt reactors and fast breeder reactors, offer potential solutions to many of nuclear energy's current challenges. These reactors can operate at higher efficiencies, produce less waste, and in some cases, even use existing nuclear waste as fuel. While still under development, advanced reactors could make nuclear power more sustainable and address many of the issues currently associated with nuclear energy. 3. Fusion power, the ultimate clean energy goal. Fusion power, which replicates the energy production process of the sun, promises virtually limitless, clean energy with minimal waste. Although fusion technology is still in the experimental stage, breakthroughs are happening. If achieved, fusion could revolutionize the energy sector and provide a safe, sustainable alternative to current nuclear fission reactors. However, practical, commercially viable fusion power is likely still decades away. Conclusion: is nuclear energy essential to combat climate change? The need for nuclear energy in addressing climate change depends largely on a nation's specific energy needs, resources, and policy goals. In regions where renewable energy alone cannot meet demand, nuclear power can play a critical role in ensuring a reliable and stable energy supply. As technology advances, nuclear may become safer, more cost-effective, and more adaptable, making it a valuable part of the clean energy mix. While nuclear energy is not a standalone solution, it offers a dependable option that complements renewable energy in achieving a sustainable, low-carbon future. To reach global climate goals, we need a diversified approach, including investments in nuclear, renewables, and energy efficiency. The road to a carbon-neutral future will likely require all available tools, including nuclear energy, to successfully tackle the climate crisis.